It's do or die time for the Phillies and the Dodgers. They've got their foot on the gas, ready to slam the door shut. And Philly's answer to that pressure? Aaron Nola. That's the guy they're going with to try and stop this Dodgers machine from steamrolling its way into the next round. But here's the thing. Does Aaron Nola actually give the Phillies a real shot here? Or is this a move that's going to backfire big time? The numbers don't lie, and recent history isn't exactly on Nola's side. The Dodgers know how to handle him. They faced him 8 times recently and walked away with wins in 7 of those matchups. The last time he faced LA, it wasn't pretty. 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 long balls, and just 2 strikeouts. He barely kept them in the game. And now, in an elimination scenario, he's supposed to be the stopper? That's a bold gamble by Philly's manager. What's even more interesting is the chess match that's playing out here. By throwing Nola, a right-hander, the Phillies are basically trying to force the Dodgers' hand. Force them to start Will Smith and Max Muncy early, 2 guys who might not be fully fit, and then maybe try to flip the script mid-game with a lefty out of the pen like Ranger Suarez. But that strategy feels a little too clever for its own good. You're betting on matchups, on timing, on things going perfectly according to plan, while the Dodgers are just betting on talent and momentum. And right now, LA has both in spades. Look, if you're LA, you're probably licking your chops at the idea of facing Nola instead of Suarez. Because when it comes to righties, the Dodgers have been feasting, and it opens up the opportunity for them to come out swinging right out of the gate, instead of waiting until the 6th or 7th inning to finally start making noise like they had to do in the first 2 games. If the Dodgers start fast, this one might not even be close. And then there's the guy LA is throwing out there, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The definition of reliable. The man's been nails all season. He's got an ERA under 2.5, a whip under 1, and in 30 starts, only gave up more than 3 earned runs 9 times. That means 2/3 of his outings, he held teams to 2 or fewer runs. That's ace-level consistency, especially for a guy in his first full season in the majors. But it's not just the stats. It's how he pitches. Yamamoto doesn't get rattled. He doesn't lose command, even on days where the Dodgers' offense forgets how to support him. Because let's be honest, that's been a theme. He keeps them in games. He's not flashy, but he's surgical. His bad starts would be a career highlight for a lot of guys. And now, with the chance to close out the series at home, you couldn't script it better. This is the guy you want on the mound when it matters most. Let's also talk about what's happening behind Yamamoto if he hands the ball off with a lead. That bullpen has been chaotic. Let's call it what it is. There have been moments where fans are clenching every muscle watching the 8th and 9th innings. And while Roki Sasaki is emerging as that lights-out option late in games, the Dodgers are still figuring out how much they can lean on him. The talent is undeniable, but can he go on back-to-back nights? Can he be the guy who throws 2 out of 3? That's still unknown. But what is known? The kid's attitude. After Game 2, he was asked about the brutal heckling coming from the Philly fans. That stadium is notorious for getting inside players' heads. You know what Sasaki said? He smiled and said, "I don't understand English, so I have no idea what they're saying. It doesn't bother me." That is stone cold. That's the kind of mentality that doesn't just survive in October. It thrives. And since coming back from the minors, Sasaki's been different. The mechanics are cleaner, the command is sharper, and the confidence? Off the charts. He's filling up the strike zone at an insane rate. Before, he was barely throwing 59% strikes. Now, he's hovering around 88%. That's elite. That's Mariano Rivera territory. He's not pitching afraid anymore. He's not nibbling. He's attacking hitters, daring them to swing, and more often than not, they're walking back to the dugout shaking their heads. Still, there's a risk. He hasn't pitched on back-to-back days. The Dodgers haven't really trusted him to do that yet. But with the way this series has been structured, with off days between every game, it's worked perfectly for Sasaki to show up, shut the door, and rest. That luxury might go away if this thing stretches to a Game 4. So the Dodgers know tonight is the night. Close it out. Don't let it get messy. Don't give Philly life. And if for some reason Sasaki isn't available or doesn't have it, there's another name that suddenly becomes very interesting. Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, that's right. The future Hall of Famer. You might not think of him as a closer, but if the game's on the line and Sasaki is down, it might be time to give the ball to number 22. Why? Because Kershaw doesn't walk guys. If you're going to beat him, you're going to have to hit him, and hit him multiple times. And that's not easy when he's in control. The Dodgers know they can't mess around with this Phillies lineup. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and Tree Turner aren't going down quietly. This team has power, postseason experience, and a flair for the dramatic. The Dodgers have been here before. They've seen what happens when you let a dangerous team hang around too long. That's why this game isn't just another step forward. It's the game that defines their October. And look, fans are still talking about some of the bullpen decisions that almost unraveled Game 2. Why was Blake Treinen out there in a high-leverage spot? Even with a lead, it felt like a move that almost derailed everything. Dave Roberts rolled the dice, and he got away with it. But that's the kind of decision that has fans holding their breath. The Dodgers need clarity in that bullpen. They need to know exactly who their guys are and when to use them. Tonight might be the game that brings that clarity. If Yamamoto goes deep and hands the ball off with a lead, and Sasaki comes in and nails it down again, this bullpen hierarchy starts to take shape. But if it gets chaotic again, if Roberts starts mixing and matching and turning to guys who haven't earned those spots, the nerves will only grow as the postseason gets deeper. But right now, it feels like the Dodgers are in control. The lineup is clicking. The pitching staff is aligned. And if they could get just 5 or 6 strong innings from Yamamoto, they're in position to finish this series and move on to the next. The Dodgers know that you don't give second chances in October. You finish the job. You stomp out the hope. You don't let a team like Philly get any air. Because if you do, you're just asking for trouble. And speaking of trouble, don't underestimate the mental edge this Dodgers team has right now. They've been in these moments. They've won in these moments. And they got a clubhouse full of guys who understand what it takes to go all the way. It's not just about talent. It's about mindset. It's about execution. And it's about having the killer instinct to finish what you started. That's what tonight is about. While the spotlight is on Yamamoto and the opportunity to close out the series, there's another storyline brewing quietly, but just as crucial to the Dodgers' postseason push: Roki Sasaki's evolution into a legitimate late-inning weapon. Not only has he earned Dave Roberts' trust in the tightest spots, but he's doing it with a presence that feels years beyond his age and experience level. What Sasaki has done since returning from his time in the minors isn't just impressive. It might be the biggest bullpen transformation of the entire year. Let's be real. Nobody saw this coming. The Dodgers knew he had the tools, the velocity, the breaking stuff, but even the front office didn't expect him to become this version of himself so quickly. He disappeared from the big league mound for months, from early May to late September. And when he came back, it was like watching a completely different pitcher. Everything from his delivery to his tempo to the way he's commanding the strike zone has changed. Before his time away, he was throwing less than 60% strikes, below league average and a red flag in October. Since returning, he's sitting around 88%. That's a mind-blowing jump, and it's the kind of thing that turns a question mark into a playoff X factor overnight. You watch him now, and it's not just about stuff. It's about mentality. He's not nibbling. He's not pitching scared. He's stepping on the mound and daring hitters to beat him. And most of the time, they're not. He's filling up the zone, working quickly, keeping hitters off balance with a mix of high heat and sharp breaking balls. And it's not just about the stuff, it's the confidence. You can see it in his body language, in the way he walks off the mound after freezing a hitter, in the little fist pump that says, "Yeah, I got this." That's the kind of energy you need when everything's on the line. Then there's the fact that opposing teams just haven't seen much of him. He's pitched so little at the big league level this season, most lineups have barely any video to break down. They don't know the angles, the movement, the release point, and by the time they start to figure out, the inning's already over. That lack of familiarity is a huge edge for the Dodgers, especially in a short series where every out matters. And tonight, if it comes down to the ninth and Roki is available, you better believe Roberts is handing him the ball again. But that's also where things get tricky. Sasaki has yet to be tested on back-to-back days. The Dodgers haven't needed him to do that yet. The schedule has helped with off days between games, But if this series stretches into a Game 4, or if the NLCS goes the distance, that workload is going to increase. And the Dodgers still don't fully know how his body responds to that kind of pressure. Physically, he looks strong. Mentally, he's locked in. But usage is everything in October. This isn't April or May. There's no room for easing into roles or figuring things out on the fly. You need answers, not guesses. That's where the idea of Clayton Kershaw coming into a high-leverage spot starts to feel less like a gimmick and more like a legitimate option. It's unconventional, sure, but this is the postseason. Conventional doesn't win championships. Kershaw has done it all. Cy Youngs, no-hitters, dominant October outings, and yes, some tough ones too. But what he's always done well is attack hitters and limit walks. That's the kind of profile you want in a jam. If Sasaki isn't available or has thrown too many pitches the night before, don't be surprised if number 22 is the one jogging in from a bullpen. And it's not like Kershaw will be the first starter to close out a big game. The Dodgers have gone that route before. Julio Urias in 2020. Walker Buehler in earlier years. It's all about matchups and the moment. If you're trying to protect a slim lead and get 3 outs with the season on the line, you want someone who's been in the fire and come out the other side. Kershaw's built for that. He may not be the flamethrower he once was, but he knows how to pitch. And in the postseason, sometimes brains beat brawn. But for all this to even matter, the Dodgers need to put themselves in a position to win the game in the first place. That means the offense has to show up early and loud. They've struggled at times to get going until the middle innings, especially against lefty starters. But tonight, facing Nola, this is a chance to flip the script. This is a chance to jump out early, put pressure on Philly, and force them into their bullpen faster than they want to go. And if that happens, it opens the door for LA to control the pace, manage their pitchers, and potentially lock up this series without having to sweat it out. You can feel the urgency in the clubhouse. This team knows what's at stake. They've been bounced early before. They've seen what happens when you don't capitalize. They're not taking anything for granted, no matter what the scoreboard says. And they understand that in the playoffs, momentum can flip in a heartbeat. One inning, one mistake, one swing, that's all it takes. So tonight isn't just about winning. It's about ending the conversation, ending the Philly season, taking all doubt out of the equation. And make no mistake, Philly isn't going to just roll over. They've got a dangerous lineup that can explode at any time. Bryce Harper is a game breaker. Tree Turner can wreak havoc. Kyle Schwarber, with one swing, can silence a crowd. This is a team that's proven they can thrive in hostile environments. So if the Dodgers let them hang around, if they leave runners on base, if they miss their spots on the mound, this game could slip away before they know it. That's why this matchup, Yamamoto versus Nola, might be the most important of the entire postseason for LA. It's not a Game 7, but it carries the same weight. It's the difference between finishing strong and leaving the door cracked open. Yamamoto's job is simple. Set the tone, control the tempo, and give the Dodgers a chance to breathe. If he can do that, if he gives them 6 or 7 quality innings, the rest can fall into place. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. In what could be the blockbuster move of the MLB season, whispers are swirling that the Los Angeles Dodgers may have pulled off a jaw-dropping acquisition, snatching Fernando Tatis Jr. from the San Diego Padres. Sources close to the situation suggest that negotiations have been intense, and while no official confirmation has come from either side, the baseball world is buzzing with speculation. Tatis Jr., widely regarded as one of the brightest young stars in the league, has been a cornerstone for the Padres, dazzling fans with his combination of power, speed, and charisma. His departure would mark a seismic shift in the balance of power in the National League, potentially giving the Dodgers a much-needed boost in their quest for another World Series title. Insiders hint that the Dodgers are willing to go all in, offering a mix of top prospects, cash considerations, and perhaps even a veteran player to seal the deal. Padres fans are reportedly in shock, and the rumor alone has sent social media into a frenzy. The idea of Tatis Jr. donning Dodger blue is enough to make rivalries ignite and sportsbooks adjust their odds almost instantly. Analysts are already speculating on how the Dodgers would integrate such a dynamic talent into their lineup, with possibilities ranging from him slotting in a shortstop to a more creative positional shuffle to maximize both his offensive and defensive skills. While nothing is officially confirmed, the rumor mill is relentless. Conversations in clubhouses, bars, and online forums are all revolving around one question. Could Fernando Tatis Jr. really be heading to Los Angeles? If true, this move would not only shake up the NL West, but would likely set off a chain reaction across the league as teams scramble to respond to what could be the most shocking trade in recent memory. For now, fans can only watch, wait, and speculate, because if the Dodgers do land Tatis Jr., the MLB landscape may never look the same again. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.